Hi, I am Bob from a Worms flight, and today's video is about standard instrument departures in North America and how they are different from their European equivalents. When starting your virtual pilot career in North America as a Europe-based pilot, one of the new things you have to learn is how standard instrument departures are designed. While in Europe, these departures are usually defined from the departure end of the runway all the way to their designator, in North America they often rely on vectors. This is not always the case though. For example, the SSOXS 7 departure out of Boston Logan International Airport doesn't really raise any questions for me as a European. For a given runway, the SSOXS 7 departure offers a well-defined continuous route from the departure end of the runway up to the waypoint SSOXS. Staying at Boston, the Logan 4 departure is a different kind. It has well-defined initial climb segments for each runway, but then relies on radar vectors to a number of exit gates like Birdie, SSOXS, Frill, etc. You can see them on the map indicated by white triangles and then in the routing section at the bottom right. The space between the initial climb segments and the routing is to be flown on radar vectors. In a nutshell, the chart provides you with the initial routing, a top altitude, and the kind of vectors that you can expect in order to pick up your onward route. Let's now have a look at the Kennedy 5 departure out of JFK, New York, which is even more complex. What is so confusing when learning the US airspace as a Europe-based pilot is that the departure consists of several parts that can be assembled into a number of different results, and all of them represent the Kennedy 5 departure. Walking through this in the order of a flight reveals the following parts. We have the runway-dependent initial climb segments. The map representation is down here. And their textual representation is up here. Then we have some solitary waypoints like Merritt and like Gerke. And we have transition routes. For example, we have the V1 transition leading from Dixie to White. Or we have the base transition, which is defined by a VOR radial and a DME distance. And the textual representation is given here in the middle right segment of the chart. There can be multiple initial climb segments for a given runway. For example, runways 31 left and 31 right have the Breezy Point climb, the Canarsie climb and the Idlewild climb. Runways 22 left and right have a default climb instruction, climb heading 224 degrees, and then an optional climb, the Gateway climb, which is assigned only during night time. After these initial climb segments, you navigate by radar vectors to your exit gate. As I mentioned before, some of them have a transition attached to them, like Dixie and White, and some of them are given by a VOR radial and a DME distance like base, which is given by the Bridgeport VOR radial and its DME distance. And these transitions, they are mentioned here in the routing section. Your departure clearance will reveal which of these elements are relevant to your particular flight. I hope that I could help you become more familiar with the North American SIDs. Thank you for watching my content. Why not leave a like and a subscription? See you here, Bob.